Okay, so in this presentation, we're just going to go over series circuits really quickly. All right. I want to make sure I draw the battery fully. All right. Whenever you draw the battery moving forward, I'm not going to draw the battery with all 6 lines every single time and all six long lines, all 6 little lines, for the sake of speed and to move forward. Which you can draw a couple. So just so we understand, like this is a battery real quick. So I just drew the battery down here. I didn't draw all of them. I just drew 4, but we understand that this is a battery. They both represent the same symbol. If you want to be very technical, you can draw all six long lines and all 6 small lines every time you draw your battery. Okay, it's really up to you. But for here, we're just drawing real quick. We're going to draw a very basic series circuit. Okay, so the wire comes out. We are going to draw a fuse. Okay, there's a fuse, so I'm going to label this one fuse. Then I'm going to draw a switch. So the switch is just an open little mouth there. So this is our switch. Okay, then I'm going to draw let's draw a resistor. So resistor will be relatively easy. There we go. That's a resistor. Okay. The resistor I haven't given it a value yet, which I will give a value in just a minute. For now, I just want to label things. Then we want to, let's draw another resistor. So let's do 2. Okay, and to complete our circuit, so I'm going to hit resistor again. To complete our circuit, we need a ground. So here's our ground. I did not label the battery, but I'm going to go back and label the battery right now. Okay, so here's our circuit. Sorry, let me zoom in so we can see everything. Okay. Now, on the resistors, I should say, there has to be values. I'm going to give you a couple values here. So I'm going to give you the voltage of the battery. So the voltage of the battery is 12.62. Okay. And then the resistors are each going to be 2.4 and 2.4, and that is ohms for the resistors. Okay. Now for us to find the amperage, we got to find the usual things. We have to use Ohm's law to be able to figure this out. So we start with E, we use I, and we use R. But for the R, we're going to put a little t here because on the T, that means total resistance. Okay. So our E is 12.62 because that is given. Our I is what we do not know. So I'm going to put an X there. And then our RT is 2.4 plus 2.4 according to Kirchhoff's law. And this pertains to series circuits. So if we were to add those up, we would get 4.8. Okay, so now we have 4.8 ohms of total resistance. Now can we figure this problem out? If we use basic Ohm's law, if we go back to E over I R, the variable we're missing is the I. So our equation is I equals E divided by R. We can just plug our numbers in. So our E is equal to 12.62 and our R is equal to 4.8. So at this point, we need to get a calculator real quick. Makes our lives a lot easier. 12.62 divided by 4.8 will give us 2.63. I rounded. The numbers continue to go on for a long time, but I just took the first 2 decimals and rounded up on the last decimal. And that's gonna be 2.63 amps. So our amperage is now 2.63. Okay, and that's how we found our amperage, by doing this equation. Okay. Again, we're going to keep practicing. I'll continue to look at other videos and I'll give you different examples on other videos. Okay, thank you.